greatest digital asset ever created. I'm so glad I accumulated before the space got saturated. XRP the greatest digital asset ever created. Make the haters aggravated, get the spaceship activated. XRP the greatest digital asset ever created. I'm so glad.
What's goody, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So if you don't know, now you know. I was in Vegas for the Xrp Las Vegas conference. Oh, it was what a time to be alive. That's all I can say. What a time to be alive. This is just me right now walking through the casino. It was just so, it was nice, man. It was so many different influencers. It was so many different people that came out to just to even network. And those who are in the space, want to be connected with more people who are also in the space. It's like a very foreign language, and you don't have anybody else to talk to. So that was just a great way to connect with the XRP family. A lot of people from all over the world came just to see, David Schwartz, Brad Garlinghouse. Oh man, it was so many people. DAI was there. XRP Bags was there. It was a lot of people, man. I'll show you some more as time progresses on this channel and on this video. But it's a lot of stuff. I really want to show you. Also David Schwartz. I'm not gonna get all into it because it was very. But this was the conference. It was a lot of people in there. I was trying to do my best to zoom in a little bit so you could see. But it was the whole, like, everybody was over here. People were walking over here. And then there was another side of the conference where there were a lot of, booths set up. Uphold was there. I don't think crypto.com was there. But it was a different cold store wallets that's come out that you probably not even know about. But I'll show more on the channel because I got a lot of people information. They did a lot of interviews. Yeah, and I had to get in the pool, right? I had to get in it. This is, I don't know, drop in the comments if you guys ever been to Stadium Swim. But this was amazing. This was an amazing spot. Literally like 7 pools. All right, now this was the upper view a little bit, so you can see it's like 7 or 8 pools on top with a nice view with all the TV screens. Yeah, this was pretty cool, man. Like, this is definitely a good sight to see. It does get hot, so if you you want to make sure you stay out the heat, you can't go to Stadium Swim. This one right here, this is a great picture of us and the crew. Everybody had their t-shirts on. This was Good Morning Crypto, the whole entire fan that we had out here. This was just a couple other people that we met. Yeah, man, it was a good time. It was definitely a good time. It was a lot. If you wasn't there, I highly encourage you guys to be there next year, because the event was mind-blowing, overwhelming with people, overwhelming with different, I want to fast forward through here a little bit. Overwhelming with interviews. Oh, this is just one interview right now. But this was the CEO, Tim, of the Texas SOL 61. Spent time with XRP community, pretty much with John Deaton. I thought it was something a little bit different. So, but yeah, let's keep it going. Again, Brad Garlinghouse, he makes a bold statement, XRP Las Vegas. Pretty much I'm gonna let you guys hear it. Let me see if this thing can turn up.
Even the XRP family, it's like, look, the Bitcoin community is not our enemy. They really are not. If they do well, we're going to do well. We might do better. It's just like, it's not a zero-sum game. And I think the one thing I learned, I was in Silicon Valley for 24 years. The one thing you learn is tech is not a zero-sum game. We're going to grow the pie. And David Schwartz was up here yesterday talking about rewiring the entire banking system and what this looks like maybe in 10 years or 20 years. We underestimate how big that change is and how profound it is. And we get there by being collaborative and working together, not against each other. Sorry, I'll shut up.
Looking forward, and I found really interesting just in how many ways and how many different ways you're working sort of across the landscape. Certainly, when you look at the Hidden Road transaction, frankly, just you're kind of unshackled now. You're our conversations now are more about what's going to happen than what has happened. Maybe though you can talk a little bit about that.
All right, so pretty much Brad Garlinghouse in a nutshell. He always he cracks me up because Brad always get a little comment on there. He like, oh, we're not XRP doesn't got to go against Bitcoin, but we might do even better. You never know. But yeah, Bitcoin conference was there maybe like 2-3 days before the XRP conference, so that was always interesting too. There was a lot of people there. This is Digital Asset Investor had an interesting conversation with self-custody, so versus institutional custody at Xrp Las Vegas. So listen up to this really quick.
I predict to you now, within 5 years, virtually most of the money moving around the world, most of the dollars moving around the world will be moving on tokenized digital networks. And within 10 years, I predict to you that there won't be a securities offering, a debt offering, an equities offering of any significance that's not tokenized on chain. And those securities offerings that remain in an analog state will be like those bearer bonds and DTC's vault, the coupon clipping bonds that don't matter anymore. Non-tokenized, non-digitized securities will be like those old dusty photo albums, and securities on chain will be like the digital photos on your smartphone.
Man, he sound like he knows something to me. He sound like he knows something. Not your keys, not your crypto for the last decade, but in order for the industry to scale to the hundreds of trillions, a capture of the big money, it will move to institutional custody the same way investors have brought stocks and bonds. And don't worry about who's holding the certificates. So this was the Digital Asset Investor. He was also at the XRP Las Vegas event. So that was pretty cool. I mean, it's so much information, guys. I'm not going to overflow and overload you guys with so much information as they did with me. Make sure you guys check on Thursday. We having Billy Talk. I'm having live Thursday calls, a chat on Thursday starting at 8:30 Eastern time. But let's get back to the information. All right, Germany's second largest bank with $350 billion in assets has adopted Ripple digital assets custody platform. It's its first full-scale rollout in Europe. Enabled by Germany's new securities law, insiders can call it CBDC. Man, listen. It's so much news out here. Let me keep going. All right. Breaking. NASDAQ listed VO Power has raised $121 million to launch an XRP focused treasury strategy led by the Saudi prince. I'm not going to butcher his name. Ben, pretty much, hey, Dubai and everybody knows what's going on with XRP Ripple. So that doesn't surprise me at all. And I'm not going to be surprised if XRP has an event in Dubai as well. Mark my words, that's coming soon. Don't know when, but you heard it from me. Okay, breaking. Donald Trump Jr. states his family is all in after all. Crypto is being debanked. We are all in on crypto. Crypto is the solution. Listen up to this.
One was because there was a time, and probably I'd been on this show, where I could call any single banker in New York City. They'd pick up the phone. I'd be able to get a loan for whatever real estate project I was doing across the street. Then we got into politics, and all of a sudden, they wouldn't take your call. Right. You couldn't get financing. We were debanked. And what I realized, and my brother realized, because we were the recipients of every subpoena imaginable, was that, you know what, we were actually just the top of this sort of pyramid scheme that we didn't realize we were a part of, that the financial system was totally undemocratized. Because we had a certain balance sheet and whatever, we could kind of do whatever we wanted. The regular guy was messed up. Now we were all of a sudden in the shoes of the regular guy that wouldn't be able to take advantage of the markets. And we said, what's the solution for that? The answer is crypto. These decentralized platforms where you're not beholden to this, where you create efficiencies. As a guy that did real estate, why am I paying points in and out for title insurance that could be done on the blockchain? So we got into crypto, not because it was like, hey, this is the next cool thing. We got into it out of necessity. We got into it because we understood just how quickly we could be turned off, even as an incredible developer from New York City. I mean, I don't think anyone would argue that we didn't change the skylight of New York City, but that disappeared in an instant. I mean, we're getting sued by the New York State AG, $500 million fees for paying back loans on time with interest. These aren't, fair markets. There's nothing egalitarian about any of that. So we actually, as innovators, as people who understand these things, we went all in on a concept that makes total sense because we'd actually been the recipient of how quickly that can be shut off. And so it actually makes total sense. The Trump organization isn't doing anything with foreign countries. The first time around in the administration, we actually stopped doing all foreign deals. And unlike the Bidens, we were actually doing international business before we got into
Here's
politics.
my question, though.
But let me finish. We stopped doing those things, and the market still said, oh, they're profiteering off of this, they're doing that. We got zero credit. We shut down hundreds of millions of dollars of business to voluntarily just say, just in case. So now what we're going to do, we're going to play by all of the rules. We're going to do what we're allowed to do. But we got zero credit for going so far above and beyond because, that's the nature of this beast, right? It's a market cycle. I get it. It's click-worthy. It's nonsense.
So let me ask.
All right, so I'm going to leave it at that. Make sure you guys come on Thursday to the live stream. The live stream is at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you guys come on to that. We're going to have a lot of people and guests that's going to come on from the Las Vegas event. And make sure you just come with your questions, come with your comments, come with your concerns, come with your excitement, man. Las Vegas was amazing. Amazing experience. I'll talk to you guys soon. I'm out. Peace.